The old adage of if you buy them lunch, they will send you referrals, it's still going on here. It still exists, okay? There are people here who still think that if you buy them their lunch, they will send you their referrals, and that's fine. But my question always is, what if somebody comes along and buys them a bigger lunch? What if somebody comes along with a better grovel, with a better love story, a better, you know, thank you doctor, yes sir, please sir, 3 bags full sir kind of story? I just find it a little bit degrading. I think the world's moved on. The physical therapy industry across the world needs to move on from doctors. You don't need them anymore. So the question was, should you keep in touch with a patient with a follow-up system by sending them free reports and emails or even a phone call, even though they've told you that they have a high deductible and they are not quite sure about coming to see you again? My answer to that is emphatically yes, okay? I'm a big believer in just do the right thing. Even though patients will tell you one thing, it's not always what they mean. And if I'm honest, it's rarely what they mean, because more often than not, they come from a very emotional place when they're making decisions in the beginning, and particularly when they're in pain and they're not quite sure, there's no certainty there. They will often tell you that the reason that they don't want to come in right now is just from a monetary point of view. But that's just the usual excuse that most people come up with. It's the only one they can think of, it's the quickest, it's the easiest, and it's usually the first decision that they will, certainly the first thing that they will think about when trying to get away from a situation that they're not quite comfortable in right now. And that's all that means. It just means right now. It doesn't mean that they don't want to come and see you. It doesn't mean that they don't value you. It doesn't mean that they don't respect you. It just means that right now they don't see the true value in exchange for the money that they have to pay. And that's what a nurture system is for. So far be it from us to decide whether or not they are, you know, just using it as an excuse or they've genuinely got money issues. Let's not get into that world. Nurture systems are there to guide people, to help people make better decisions so that more people come to your practice. Not everybody is going to come. No matter how good the nurture system is, no matter how good the follow-up is, no matter how great the free report is or the emails that you send them, some people will still say no. But I just know that if we do this consistently, we do it predictably and we do it reliably, where anybody who expresses an interest at your practice goes into a nurture system, ideally an automated nurture system, then more people will end up turning about their decision to come back and see you. Don't play God. Don't decide whether or not you think that these people are going to, you know, want to break into their deductibles, or whether or not they will, or whether or not they won't. Let's just leave that. Let's just do the right thing. Let the process and the system go to work. Have your nurture system in play. Give people the right information. And I just believe that more often than not, if you do the right thing, which is to help people to make the best decision possible, whether there is any guarantee of you getting money or not, you will always win, and you will win big in the end. Paul here, so welcome to Anaheim, to day one of the CSM conference. Been here now for around about an hour, walking around the stalls, the exhibitors, booths. There's thousands of physical therapists here and hundreds of people selling things. It's all selling stuff, okay? All selling the latest fancy exercise bikes, the latest exercise modality, you know, treatment options, the latest software, the latest stuff that you can literally buy and take home with you. I get the impression there's a lot of physical therapists here trying to buy the edge, like trying to buy something that they can just take home today to improve their product or to improve their ability to be a better physical therapist. And I get it. I just think it's wrong. I think that there is too much emphasis placed upon the actual thing that we do, the product, all right? There are a lot of product-centric businesses out there right now, all trying to be a better physical therapist and actually getting nowhere, okay? They are not doing anything to help their consumer. They're not doing anything to help their consumer make better decisions. And they think that by buying the latest exercise bike for like $10,000 is going to make the difference. And it might over the long run, you know, a long run, but it's going to be a long run. There is not a single stall here today teaching people how to help consumers, how to help physical therapists build businesses, how to help physical therapists to focus in on what's really, really important, which is the customer. 99.9% of businesses right now are product-centric. They're focusing on trying to be a better physical therapist when what they need to be is consumer-centric, focusing in on customers and helping customers make better decisions. decisions. And I actually blame the people at the top of our industry, the people in charge of the physical therapy industry, the physiotherapy industry across the world. It's as if they just don't like anything to do with marketing or business building. Even the one or two lectures that are here today that, you know, are helping people in private practice, have a guess where those things are. They're right at the back of the handbook. It took me like 10 minutes to find those things. So I can wander around here today and I can buy anything from software to exercise bikes to, I've lost count of the number of things I've been sold on, but I've never had one booth or anybody asking me if I'm a business owner and I need some advice on how I can actually sell that thing or actually build my business to be able to help more people. And I'm blaming the guys at the top. Marketing is not dirty, business building is not dirty. Focusing in on your product is a recipe for disaster. In this economy, you're screwed. You will lose if you focus in on your product. If you think you can buy more things to give you the edge, you can't, because there's no point me taking home a $10,000 exercise bike today if nobody knows that I've got it. That's marketing. So my tip is to focus in on the consumer. We're in a completely new economy. We need to be consumer centric, and we need to understand that people just don't know how to make decisions. That's all marketing is. Speeding up the decision that your consumer will make to come and see you, okay? Not somebody else, not go on Google, not see a chiropractor, not see a doctor instead of you. Marketing is simply helping people to speed up the decision-making process and bringing them closer to you. I promise you, the physical therapist that focuses on the product, the stuff that's being sold here today, will lose. You might get a tiny edge, but over the long haul, you'll lose. The consumer that focuses in on helping people make decisions is the business that will win in this new economy.
Hey, Paul, I got a quick question.
Hey, Neil. Slow,
You know I had
slow
to have one.
today. You were slow today.
I know I'm slacking. When you say, could you just elaborate more on the fortune is in the follow-up? I mean, you kind of talked about the whole thing, but just, I don't know, just your take on it, just a couple nuggets from that.
Fortune is in the follow-up. Imagine all of the people who've made inquiries at your practice via an email, via a quick, you know, how much, what is it, what do you do, been on your website, but didn't book. How many people do you reckon?
Oh, jeez, I couldn't
Well,
even guess.
there's the answer. OG. Everybody does that. OG.
Yeah.
And I went through this with Dean, and we were giggling around it. And I said, just imagine if we could take 50% of those people, even 30%, just 30% of those people, and convert them into patients. Where would you be in your life right now? And his words were, retired at my house in Charleston.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay.
mean by the fortune is in the follow-up. There is more people who are visiting your practice, your website, making inquiries, and just generally thinking about coming to see you than actually do. So if we can take 30% of those people and convert them into buyers, think about the compound effect of them coming back versus them telling friends, telling work colleagues, friends and family, just being sneezes around your business. That's where the fortune's in the follow-up. So everybody's living, and it really comes down to this, and I mean this respectfully. A lot of people live in this world, right? Not just physical therapists, but they live in the world of, well, they just didn't see value, or they're cheap, or they're tight, or they don't want to pay, and that's absolute BS. Because you're almost labeling yourself there as well. Because I reckon in fact, I know every single one of us goes to a website or walks into a shop, right? And if the lady comes up to you and she says, "Do you need some help?" No, 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 no. But I'm in there thinking about making a decision on a shirt or a suit or some shoes, right? And now traditionally, what'll happen is like me, I would walk out of the store and I'd be like, I'll have a think on that, and I generally am having a think, right? But then I just forget. Something else comes up. I walk into another store, like the girlfriend starts whinging, or like she's already spent the money, or whatever it will be. But if that lady said, "Hey, I can see you thinking about buying a suit. Like, what's going on? Are you going to a wedding soon, or have you got an event or something to be at?" Yeah, oh well, listen. Well, what we can do is like I know most people are not ready to buy a suit for $1,000 off the shelf like right now. So what I'll do is I'll give you some information on it so you can take away and you can digest and you can think about it at home tonight. And if you give me your email address, I'll send it to you right now. In fact, if you want to give me a phone number, I'll give you a call in 7 days time and just see if you've made a decision, see if you've got closer to buying that suit, or if you have any questions about the information I will send you. And if you do that, in 3 or 4 days, when the busyness of life has took over me, and like the guy from the suit store rings me and says, "Hey Paul, like how's it going? Have you got that suit fixed yet? Or have you got that suit ordered for that event you're going to?" It's like, "No, but I'm glad you called, because like I forgot all about it, and I really am gonna have to do something." "Okay, well, what do you need me to do? How can we do business together?" He's going to get my business, and if he does that regularly, like he will get me to buy things that I probably forgot that I wanted to buy in the first place. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
that's
Because
all.
you do forget
We
about it.
all do.
Yeah.
We all do. Every one of us does. So we're not cheap. We're not tight. We don't devalue our health. And nothing winds me up more than when I see physical therapists talking crap on Facebook about patients who don't value their health or have got no money. How about you didn't prove value so that it will give you money? That's the real thing that's going on here. People are not tight. They're not whatever. There's not no money going around. They don't see value in what you do. If you give them value and you prove that to them over a period of days or weeks, you will get their business for life.
It's just kind of like connecting with the people, isn't it? And like,
well, it's
I think you're not forced. I think when you give them, how you say, because that's what sounds best for you.
Yeah.
I think the love.
Yeah.
Love where you're not caught.
Yeah. Which one do you want? Which one do you like the sound the best of? Which one do you think would work best for you? These are all things that pass the power back.
Yeah.
And like in this day and age, in the 21st century now, the consumer has the power. Right? Consumer's king. You can't fight it. No matter how good you are, what you do, consumer's king. They have so many options, so much access to information. They almost have so much anger and resentment to the whole crap that's going on around them that it's also getting in the way of making a decision. So when they're walking into customer service or into businesses now, they feel as though they've got the power, and you've got to give them it. But at the same time, you do it cleverly in a way that it hands it back to them, but you've influenced their decision with the way that you've said it. So what predictates which one works best for you is the option of this one or this one. And based upon what you've told me, I have absolute 100% certainty that it's this. However, it's up to you. I don't really care which one you choose. I do, because I want you to have the right outcome, but I'm not here to push you or force you. I appreciate that you might be a little bit nervous or skeptical, even though you need this session. Let's start with that one, and we'll move on from there. And if at the end you like the silver and you've had a great time, you can still go for gold after that if you want. Yeah. Because you've also then preconditioned them to even begin to think about the gold session again. Because if you just go, do you want to take the silver and they say I'll have the silver, that might be like, right, I'm a silver client from now on. In the same way that the lady tells her husband that treatment is free down there, that's what they think. If they booked a silver, they will probably assume that they can only have silver thereafter, and or they don't want to come out and ask for gold because they look silly because they didn't take the gold at the beginning. Welcome to your client, welcome to your customer. It's a difference between like profit and loss, understanding all of this. It's like the way that we understand it, because we live and breathe it, is completely different from what they understand it in somebody who's in the beginning of their relationship with a business. They're in turmoil. There's no other way to describe it. They are in 1 or 2 out of 10 are confident. You're hyper buyer who just walks in and says, hey, just give me what is it, don't really care. Like, yeah, I've made so many good decisions, this is just cool. And if I make a bad one, I'm not really asked because I have such big funds or reserves, or that's just the way I accept life. But for 8 out of 10, they're in turmoil with every single decision they're making. How many decisions have you made already this morning? Shall I wear green or shall I wear purple? Shall I put these ones on or them ones on? Shall I put matching on or non-matching? Like, you'll have made, of course it is, you'll have made 5,000 decisions before you've even arrived at work. Yeah, it's banging before you've even arrived at work. So when a consumer walks into a business and is faced with the fear of like losing their time and losing their money, looking silly, they're going against everything that everybody's ever told them. All their friends are saying, no, rest it. The doctor said try pills. Their husband's like saying, no, we'll spend the money on a season ticket for, Man United or whatever. All of this crap's going on in their brain to make them indecisive. So you have to do everything you can to smooth the whole thing out. That's meeting them where they are. Hey guys, Paul here. So day 2 of the CSM conference here in Anaheim, California. Been to the first lecture this morning and spent 2 hours of my life being told how to speak to a doctor. I was literally in a lecture with the emphasis all about communication with doctors, and I get it, I understand that and I respect it. I just find it a little bit worrying and borderline a little bit degrading when literally I'm stood in a seminar hall and we're role playing how to basically suck up to doctors. And the old adage of if you buy them lunch they will send you referrals, still going on here, it still exists, okay? There are people here who still think that if you buy them their lunch they will send you their referrals, and that's fine. But my question always is, what if somebody comes along and buys them a bigger lunch? What if somebody comes along with a better grovel, with a better love story, a better, thank you doctor, yes sir, please sir, 3 bags full sir kind of story? I just find it a little bit degrading. I think the world's moved on. The physical therapy industry across the world needs to move on from doctors. You don't need them anymore. You can run a business now with direct marketing. Give some money to Mark Zuckerberg, give some money to Larry and Serge, the guys who invented Google, give some money to your newspaper adverts. The editors, you don't have to suck up to them, you don't have to buy them lunches. Get the postman delivering some mail for you. He doesn't need lunch, he doesn't need a sandwich or a grovelling letter or introduction and a knock on the door that is probably disrespectful, and you've got some disrespectful receptionist who won't let you getting in to see the doctor anyway. I just don't think that this thing is I don't think that the physical therapy industry is moving in the right direction. There's too much emphasis on what used to work. What was the great saying? Skate to where the puck's going, not where it's been. It was the doctors for 20 years. It isn't anymore. Not for most of the small businesses watching this right now. If you're an established business and yeah, you've been around for 20 years and you have those special friendships and relationships with doctors, keep going, keep doing it. But if you're a new business and you're starting to get going and you want to move away from that, you want to set up your own business, or you want to move out of working for a hospital system for 5 days and going to do your own thing, it's going to be pretty tough to do that. No matter how much you grovel, how big the sandwich or how big the lunch is that you buy these guys, it ain't going to make any difference. And I can probably come along with a bigger lunch and get your referrals tomorrow. I can be nicer, I can be politer, I can kiss butt, I can buy his wife a fair coat or whatever he wants, to get those referrals coming to me. So you're not going to be in a position where somebody can outbeat you or outsmart you if you figure out how to give Google and Facebook and all these guys some money to get some patients coming to your doors, banging on your doors and wanting to do business with you on your terms. And you know what? It's just a nicer place to live. Like, who the hell wants to go and grovel to doctors? Like, I didn't go to medical school for all those years to go and kiss ass to doctors. Figure it out, direct marketing, give Google and Zuckerberg and all these guys some money, they'll send you some patients. It's as simple as that.